Someone told me to put my mic higher up. Switch headset on. And I'm gonna remove the noise cancelling just so that how's the sound now? And now, is it even better now or is it worse? Doesn't make any difference, does it? And if I talk now, is that going down? I'm expecting it to go down. Okay, we're gonna go with this and see if it's better or not. Okay, let's see. So we did some streaming this morning and we stopped at, let me just tweet about the fact that I'm live. Yep. Oh, there you go. Okay, and I'm gonna mute myself because it's horrible. We're gonna start the app. Da-da-da. It is so much slower when I stream. I'm wondering if I can do something about that. Okay, we're coming. Ta-da. Still compiling. Takes a while to heat up, and then once we're running, it should be faster. Okay, yeah, we're back to where we were this morning. And if you check on Netlify, it should be the last version should be live as well. Yes. And what I discovered this morning was pretty cool is we actually have a PWA already. So we're gonna do our best to keep it playable offline. And we even can try later, I think. So the first thing we're gonna do now, we're gonna work on allowing. Right now we only have the same Pokemon. We worked this morning on actually getting a subset of the list here through our generator. I'm gonna do a few things tonight before the baby's back home. I'm gonna somehow attach the subset of the list to our Pokemon cards and try to fill the grid with those. That's the first thing. Second thing is we're also gonna work on this because we have 3 and 3 here, but actually we should have 4 and 4. So there's a bug, there's a off by 1 error somewhere, which I need to fix. And hopefully right now this is also hard-coded. This 8 here is hard-coded, but I would like it to be dynamic depending on the size of the grid. So we're gonna work on this. All right, so the first thing is, well, we have those plus ones here that I'm gonna remove. Yes, and now we don't have our off by 1 anymore. So that's the first. Okay. All right, this morning we also saw that we want to be able to shuffle. So we have a list of certain amount of Pokemons available in our image folder, but we want a subset of that depending on the size of our grid. And what we saw this morning was that for a 4x4, that gives us a number of cards equals to 16. And for 16, we need 8 pairs, right? That is rocket science. So somehow, I have never done any arithmetic with Elm, but I'm expecting that if we do a number of columns times number of rows, 4 by 4, divided by 2, we should get something, must be a float. Okay. Yeah, so we cannot divide floats. It wants me to. Okay. Yeah, Elm is very explicit always. I'm getting some Twitter notifications. Yeah, Elm is explicit, which means that it's always going to try to help you not make any mistake. All right. So I'm still expecting, yes, a number of Pokemons needed to be 8 here. Right now we're going to assume, since those are functions that I cannot change, it's not part of my model, I'm not going to throw any error in there. Like if I put 5 and 5, obviously we're not going to get an integer here, then we're going to get a problem. We'll take care of that later. Right now, well, we basically just achieved what we wanted. The second thing is, okay, we have this shuffle list button, which is nice, but I also want that to be done on startup. I don't want to have to, run the thing. It should generate itself on start. The way to do that is probably to change the main here and to run a command at init. I haven't checked how to do that yet. It's the first time I do it actually. Let me see. We're gonna go to the Elm main. I want to see the documentation of init. So maybe we can just put a command in there. Elm browser elements. DuckDuckGo. I want the doc. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so init is more about the flags. Yes, and what is this init? Okay, this init is here. There you go. We probably can run a command here. And if we run the proper command, I'm expecting... Let's see, can we... So if I was lazy, I could just run a shuffle clicked. So pretend that we clicked on start. Or copy paste that, but that's a bad thing. But let's see if it works first. So what I'm expecting now is on initiation to actually call a generate, call our command. This command is going to generate, sorry, it's going to call the shuffled. It's going to generate a new shuffle of our list. It should call our method, basically. Yes, you see that it works. And we get a new one every time. And shuffle is still working. Do we keep it like this or not? Let us see. I could make a function out of that. Let's leave it like this for now. Okay, so now we have on start a subset that corresponds to the number of pairs that we need. Out of that list, ideally, I would like to create, so right now we have a list of integers. I would like to have, so the relation between that list, that subset, and the grid is that there is a relation with the image, and also that each item that is being selected is going to be inserted twice. So what I was thinking during lunch is if I actually somehow duplicate that list, selected Pokemon list, and then shuffle it again, then I'm going to have a list that has the size of my grid with basically pairs of IDs. That should match exactly what I want. So that's what I was thinking about doing. So I don't know exactly how to keep my model clean right now. But my idea is basically, instead of a selected Pokemon list, what I want is a grid Pokemon list, I guess. And let's see how we're gonna do this. The question is, where should we do it? And we probably should be doing it right after we selected our shuffle. Okay, I'm gonna do it the easy way right now. I'm gonna do a let in, just to reach what I want, and then we can always improve. Let in. I never know how to do that properly. I'm gonna check. I never check actually if there's anyone on the chat or anything in Twitch. I don't even have Twitch running. Nope. Let expressions. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna do that, which is gonna allow me to try something. Okay, let's do it like this. We take our model. Out of our model, we create a new list of integers. We're gonna go create ready Pokemon list. Don't hit me on the head for that naming. Oh my god. But I don't want to see myself. Let me go to the manager. Is that channel? Jesus Christ, I'm a noob. Okay, whatever. Let's keep going. So now we have a new list of integers, which we need to initiate as well. I'll care about that much later. I'm just going to initiate with an empty list. And the next thing that's going to fail is, yes, the moment where we create or where we update our model. And I will do this like that. I think it should compile. Yes, so we're basically taking the same model, but we're changing just selected Pokemon list. Now the next thing I want here is, we're going to do a let in here so that we can update our model. But I also want now to update, boom. I will want to update our, is it called again, grid something? Grid ready. And I'm still gonna put it grid ready list. There you go. Right. That should compile. Yes, but it's not gonna do much. Okay, last but not least, just like last time, we're just gonna print it because it's very handy. Read ready Pokemon list. Which is empty, so it's not going to show anything. Right, the last thing we have to do now is out of the new list here, this thing, well, what we want is duplicate and then shuffle. I don't know how to duplicate a list. Do you know that? Can I concatenate the same list twice? Maybe? And a list. I think I can just concatenate the list. I'll try it. I mean, why do I look at the documentation if I can try it? New list, plus, new list. Bang. Let's see. Yes, we have it. 2626. Yeah, so it's duplicated, and now I just have to shuffle it. The only thing is to shuffle it for those that know about it already, we need to trigger a new command. And I'm wondering how I'm going to do that. Let's see. So this morning, if I call a shuffle new list again, then we're going to get a new selected Pokemon list, aren't we? Shuffle. I can run shuffle with something else. I need to make this a bit more generic, I think. I need to be able to... Oh well, we could... Okay, we could do it like this, but that's going to be ugliest. I'm not going to say. Shuffled full list. It's going to return a list of indicator. And then once we have our grid ready list, we're going to call a random shuffle again here. But we're going to want a shuffle of the grid ready list. And we're going to call shuffled food lists there. And this is going to stay empty. So I'm going to remove that for now. I'm not going to modify our full list. Okay, and here I just have to take care. So if I try to compile that, it's going to fail because now I'm not handling shuffled food list anymore, which I need to. So I just have to handle this event. I'm going to have to think, we're not going to fix it today because it's going to take way too long, but I will have to think about how to fix that live for next time. But now the only thing we have left to do is update our model. The only thing we want to update is the, what's the name again? The grid ready list. And I'm expecting the grid ready list to be then our full list this time. And we do not have to send a command anymore. Let's see, that should compile and that should even give me what I want. There you go. So if we, it has 16 elements, 3, 6, let's see, how many commas we have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It seems like we have too many elements in there. But I do see... Oh, we're making a mistake, I think. We are taking as an input, because I see the 7 here and the 4 that have not been selected here. So I think we're taking this as an input instead of this one. So we're gonna have 2 doubles, 2 8s, 2, yeah. So we're not taking the correct list as an input. Is that because I copy pasted like a moron? That could very well be. Grid ready lists. Yes, I see my problem here. Short list. I knew that would bite me. I said it this morning. Now, first I have to take only a few of those out of the short list. I'm going to duplicate it, and I can assign this to short list and then make my grid ready. And if I restart, there you go. Now we have what we want. Okay, that's full of crap. Actually, because we have that now, this shortlist is actually not needed anymore. So we could remove it from the model. There's no reason for it to exist even. We're also using a let in for pretty much nothing, because I could do that somewhere else. So we're gonna refactor a bit, but first I'm gonna get list of cards to insert. Well, actually, maybe, let me check. Yes, it is generated on start, so we're never gonna end up in a situation where this is not known. What I should do, okay, we're gonna try it. I would like right now to already try to use this list that I have now, that is the right size, to actually have dynamic Pokemons there. And I can do that because we're already mapping there, so I just have to take the, do I just have to actually? Let me think. Because we're mapping 1 to 4. How do I make the relation? I probably would have to map through my new list, but then I'm losing the I'm losing my grid pretty much. We could do it together, but then I have to find a way to get my grid back. So if we comment that out, we can take model dot grid ready Pokemon list, and this we're gonna map it to for each element, for each Pokemon ID. I'm gonna want to create my image here, which I'm gonna gladly copy paste. That's not good. Okay, I'm not gonna copy paste. I am gonna copy paste. Okay. Bang, bang. And here, the only thing I would have to do is probably to cast this string from int PID make me joy. Yes, haha. Okay, well, so we lost our grid, as I said, but we have our Pokemons now, which is pretty fun. And I am trying to check visually, but we see that we basically have a selection of 2 of each, which is perfect. You know what? I'm thinking the grid is more a question of layout, but we don't actually need a grid. We could just play like this. If I was able to flip the cards and play memory, that would work. So maybe you can get rid of the grid for now. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of the grid and we're gonna keep it like this. We can always make it come back later. That's more fun. I'm gonna be able to play with logic. So we have our pairs of Pokemons. And I'm even gonna push now so you can try online. Okay, it's been pushed. Bada bada bam. I want to remove this crappy selected Pokemon list now. So let's see where it's needed. I'm gonna reduce the size of my game a little bit so we have more space for the code. There you go. So if I remove it, boom, what's happening? I will have an error here because it's expected to be in the init function. Yes, so we don't have to modify the model anymore here in our first shuffle. And now we have to remove the visualization. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I love Helm, because I don't even have to think, and it's already working. It's beautiful. There you go. We have our list. I can command that to remove to hide the crap. And I would guess that if I press the shuffle button, yay! I'm happy already. Okay, and I even see that we are not always getting the same Pokemons, which is amazing. So we can play this game. It's going to be much more fun than the games I play with my daughter, where we only have a set of 20 cards. There's millions of Pokemon available. What's next? Well, this is crap. This let in I don't like. So I want to be... Well, we could already, you know, get rid of one variable by doing it here. This here. Oh, what did I do? I think I have a one parenthesis too much. Yes. Okay. Now, this is getting a little hairy. I could copy paste that there twice. I don't like it. Maybe we want to keep that shortlist for now, or not. Let's see. I mean, if I wanted to be a little functional and have fun, I could create a duplicate method that takes a list. I don't know how to work with generics. I would like to do it with generics right now, but I can't. We're gonna check that in a second. Takes a list of int as an input, returns a list of int, duplicate the list, and it would return concatenation of the list. It's very bad naming, duplicate, but you know, why not? What's cool with that is at least I don't have to have this ugly plus plus and this double reference to shortlist now. I can do that. Yes, I can do this now. I can say duplicate this. It should give me the same thing. Oops, I have a space too much. Bang, okay. Let's see, let's do some refactoring because that's getting ugly. I'm gonna feed okay, getting rid of one parenthesis or not. Oops. No, not that easy. Oop. Okay, that's one less. Can I, how do I use generics? just for the fun of it. Yeah, I could make a grid really easily in CSS, but I don't want any CSS. I'm trying to learn Elm, so I'm gonna use Elm UI for it, which I'm already using here. I don't know if you saw the whole stream this morning, but all that is Elm UI. And it's still, yeah, it's also pure and functional and etc. etc. So I'm gonna have to think about a way to, I mean, I could already do it with the ratio, right? Every 4, blah, blah, blah. Cut, create a new row, but I don't want to. I have to think about a way that's more functional. But thanks. Is that union types? No, I don't want union types. Okay, we'll check about it. We'll check next time. I would like this. I don't like to work with ints. I would like to work with anything. Can I use A, for example? I don't think I can. No. This seems to work. Haha. Way to learn without using the documentation. Let me try. Let's try to duplicate. We want to duplicate. Let's make a list of strings: A, B, and C. This is gonna crash because text wants not a list, but it wants a. So I need to do a string.concat this. Yes, it works. So I'm gonna have to double check, but this A seems to be generic. So if we could use actually a list of dicts, a list of anything that is concatenable, and I would expect, given how anal Elm is, I would expect any list to be concatenable by default. So it probably would work for any kind of list now. This, and I'm gonna rename this to repeat because duplicate is very bad. Repeat. Oops. There you go. Well, that was faster than expected. What's next? What could be next is flipping the cards. We could flip the cards. To flip the cards, I need to have some kind of notion of whether a card is visible or not. And what that means is that this grid ready cannot be a list of integers anymore. It probably needs to also have a boolean called flipped. Let me think. Is that the easiest way to go about it? Seems to me like the most natural way. Okay, let's make a small commit. What did I do? Small refactory. I think I'm gonna have to stop soon. Baby's about to come home. But I have a couple of minutes more. So let's try it out. We're gonna think just for a second about our, so we're gonna make a type alias, which we're gonna call that the card, because in the end, I mean, we are talking about the memory games. Memory game is always with cards, and a card is gonna be composed out of several things. It's gonna be composed out of an ID, which is gonna be an int, and right now it's gonna be composed of I don't like booleans. I hate booleans because if you ever come up with a third state, so So let's imagine right now we have visible and not visible, and then if we come up with a third state later, it kind of screws us up. But it's not as bad with Elm. So I can just, and we're not gonna show this interface to anyone. It's not like an API, so I don't really have to care. I can actually create a type alias. That's already gonna help me tomorrow if I need to have more than 2 states. This alias, I'm gonna call it visible. Let's call it visible for now. And it can only be, I'm gonna use a union type. So I don't know if you know what a union type is. You can think about it as an enum on steroids. So it can be hidden or visible, and that gives me indication that this is a shitty name. Card. How do I call that? Okay, let's call that card state for now. All right, and is visible is going to be a card state. What did I do? I want to see how to generate union type in Elm. I have a problem of syntax. I might have to detect to already declare what's hidden. Oh, we already have a union type declared here. It should work. Type, or maybe type alias is not working. We need to, yeah, of course. So the difference between type alias and a type. Type, we're actually creating a new type. Type alias, we're actually, let's read the formal definition so I don't bullshit you. Yeah, so essentially it allows us to avoid having to recreate a whole record, and we define exactly what we want. Yeah, so it's basically to write shorter. The difference between, can I create a type? This is not a type, is it? Huh, that's homework for next week. I need to understand more, better alias and types alias. Okay, but we still have one issue. I was expecting to see the end of that record. What is happening? I wonder if it's not coming from, if I do an int here, and if I don't define that. No, okay. Oh, it might just be a formatting issue. Yes. Okay. Elm sometimes is anal about where to put your stuff. Okay, and now this is going to be a card state. There you go. Okay. Now that we have that, we initiate with an empty. I'm surprised it works though. Because, oh, of course. Now I'm still having a list of integers as part of the model. I want a list of cards. Yes. And this is where things will go wrong, because now we need to create a list of cards, not list of integers. Of course. So there's 2 things to fix. The first one is that here we're iterating over a list of integers, but now we cannot do that anymore because those are cards. This should be easy to fix because instead of PID, so here instead of what we used to have, which was an ID, now we have a card, and we just need to take the ID of the card. Yeah, that's going to fix this problem. Now we need to update the way we generate We don't use shortlist at all anymore, do we? We can remove that let in. I forgot to do that last time. Up. There you go. So we need to update our full list to be one easy way to go about it. I'm a very big fan of doing things dirty and then doing them better. So we can create a card list by mapping through the full list. And this has to be an anonymous function that takes an ID and creates a card. We can create a card by saying ID equals ID. And visible, is that he's visible or visible? I don't know. He's visible. I don't like he's visible now. Let's call it state. Makes more sense since we called it state earlier. And now the state is always going to be visible for now. Okay. Oops. And instead of food list, we need to take our card list. Yay. I'm always amazed when it works, but I shouldn't. And we can look into, so for those of you that know React, this is React DevTools original 0.1, because React comes from inspiration from the Elm model. So we can see all the events that have happened as expected. And the current state is that we have a list with IDs and states of 16 elements. Okay. Well, how about, let me think. I have to do, okay. Ideally, with a bit of, what I would like to do right now is if we could couple a click event to this image, so to each image, so that when we click on it, we change the state. I'd like to do that. The only thing is I do not know two things. I do not know yet how I'm going to couple this image to an on-click event, probably through a button encapsulating in a button, but I'm not sure. And the second thing is I do not know if on-press event actually has reference to the ID that we're clicking on. Let us see that. Or maybe it's a good time to stop so I can check the documentation and come back later with my answers. Tomorrow maybe. Let's see. I can try. We can look at it quickly. I'd be happy if I was able to flip the state of my cards quickly. But I want to know how I'm going to do that. On press will be fired. Click message. I would like to know what this is. So it's a maybe message. It's a maybe message. I can define the message myself because I'm in control of it. But I'm wondering if I have access to it. Elm button ID list. I'm just gonna check if there's no answer ready up for Stack Overflow. I'll try myself. But it's probably a very common problem. Sorry. Is that it? Okay, we're gonna try one thing. We're gonna try it out and see what one and no. I don't know. This is gonna be a story for tomorrow, I think. I don't want to get you waiting too much. Let's see if there's a small thing we can do. I'm gonna take some notes actually, because I have a few things to check. I forgot to check why Elm UI doesn't have titles either. Is there anything small we can do very quickly? No, I don't see anything right now. Okay, let's stop it for now and see you maybe tomorrow. All right, bye everyone. Au revoir.